welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. And today, guys, we are taking another cheeky look at Cardano and specifically what the decentralized finance would look like on the Cardano platform. So talking all about DeFi in this particular video, Chris, it's going to be interesting. There's three main points we kind of want to cover off, and yeah, really looking forward to smart contracts and DeFi and all that fantastic stuff on the Cardano network. After we've kind of gone through what this DeFi looks like, we're going to hop over to the chart and we'll go through what the current scenario for ADA is looking like in terms of the recent price action, etc. Chris, so anything you want to add at this point?
No, I mean we can talk about the cheeky crypto staking pool, which seems to, we're selling a lot. We want you guys to stake with us or delegate to our pool and mint blocks with us, right? I mean, it doesn't get any better than that for Cardano fans, right?
Absolutely. So we've launched our Cardano delegation pool just a week ago. So you can check that out via the Deadliest wallet, the Euro wallet, under the ticker of Cheek. Do check it out. It'd be fantastic to have you there, minting blocks with us and really helping the decentralization effort for Cardano, which is it's going absolutely fantastically currently. And if you do enjoy this video today, then definitely do go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it, and as do I. And if by chance you're not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, Chris, let's take a look at what decentralized finance looks like on Cardano. Okay, so to start with, ultimately there are many benefits to DeFi applications, right? So soon, through the merry hard fork, smart contracts and multi-asset ledger will be available, right, to the Cardano blockchain, and that's absolutely fantastic. And in turn, it will pave a way forward for decentralized applications and dApps, native tokens, and DeFi use cases, and it's going to be brilliant. But you might be thinking, why? Might a DeFi project choose to run on Cardano? And there's many reasons, but Cardano, rather than any of its other peers and protocols, does have a few additional benefits. And let's break down exactly what that looks like, right? So the first thing that we really should talk about is all about the lower transaction fees, Chris, because although the complex topic of gas fees, and that really ties into the other video that we released today, which is all about the Ethereum gas fees. But it's a complex topic, and gas fees is outside the scope of what we're talking about today. But we can summarize that high gas fees have been and continue to be a huge issue for DeFi protocols, right? And we can look at those Ethereum gas fees, and you just understand exactly how problematic they have become. So we basically on Cardano not only do rising gas fees cost DeFi protocols themselves more when moving the value and executing smart contract codes, but they also prevent other barriers to entry for new users. And this is one of the things that hopefully Cardano is going to be correcting. And as we know, if we are to continue to attract the biggest potential user group of decentralized finance products, those in emerging economies, which Charles Hoskinson talks a lot about, Chris, which is obviously Africa and everything that's happening over there from an up and coming place in the world, then Cardano absolutely has to ensure low costs. And similar to paying high fees for banking services, many users who desperately need new financial infrastructure simply won't explore DeFi solutions if the costs are too high. So on Cardano, transactions between the native token and the assets do not incur execution fees, and it's absolutely brilliant, right? So owing to the way that they are deployed on chain, Cardano will discuss this in more details, but the bottom line is that DeFi has the potential to be much more affordable through Cardano. So really, when we talk about that first point of DeFi, the low transaction fees and transaction fees that are happening on the Cardano blockchain, cannot really be competed with against the likes of Ethereum. So the second thing really that we talk about what DeFi might look like on Cardano is the token and the smart contract security, right? So tokens that are an essential part of most existing DeFi protocols, used for governance or utility or even yield distribution. On other chains such as Ethereum, right, which we've spoken a lot about today, tokens require smart contracts to run. And often, the deployment of complex purpose written code in the token contract. So it's very frustrating. And we, and Cardano as a whole, and anyone in the Cardano community, could say that those tokens are non-native. In other words, they are not supported on the underlying ledger. So tokens on Cardano, on the other hand, are native, right? This means that tokens representing assets on Cardano use the same token logic on the Cardano's ledger, right? So Ethereum kind of has that ether as the overruling one coin to rule them all scenario. You always pay in ETH, right? But that's not necessarily the case when we think about smart contracts and tokens for the Cardano blockchain. So rather than using smart contracts in that regard, you can remove the need for smart contracts to deploy tokens, and Cardano removes the large burden of gas costs associated with interacting with tokens on smart contracts in that way. So, generating custom codes for each token's launch through smart contract requires an extreme amount of confidence in that code. And human error obviously is a real risk in that, right? And smart contract-based tokens, despite many of those contracts being responsible for potentially billions of dollars worth of on-chain value, as a result, bugs in token smart contracts have already cost users millions of dollars in value over the years. And with smart contract exploits happening somewhat regularly. So instead, Cardano supports user-defined native tokens. And DeFi tokens could be forged without the need for custom codes. And I can't stress just how important that is, Chris, because it is absolutely massive in itself. If just you take that one little thing in isolation, you need to appreciate just how good that is. So the only requirement custom code, the only required custom code, I guess, really is for the minting policy. Which is permanently associated with its respective tokens. And there's no way of changing, a way to change that particular policy. But Cardano does this while still supporting, fungible and non-fungible tokens without the need for specialized contracts, paving the way to represent a whole host of real-world assets on-chain securely and affordably. And it really is a fantastic thing. So if serious institutional entities are exploring launching DeFi products, then tokens which solve the inherited vulnerabilities and dangers of custom-coded smart contracts could prove very attractive. And I think that's really what Charles Hoskinson, 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘, etc., is really getting at here, in the sense of when they talk about Africa, DeFi, and all of that kind of stuff, because they need to make it affordable. They need to make it as easier, I guess, remove those barriers to entry as well, which we kind of talk about in obviously the low transaction fees. But when it comes to token and smart contracts, it all kind of ties together very neatly without having specific coding knowledge around creating those smart contracts. But our third thing we really have to kind of focus in on when we look at DeFi on Cardano has to be the community, right? And the power behind that, the ultimate DeFi catalyst, I think they've called it. And ultimately, it's all about it's about us. It's about you guys. It's about the Cardano community, which is immensely powerful. And together, we can and have achieved feats that no other kind of protocols have long aspired to, right? And near full decentralization, and it's not a small feat in itself. And that's just basically led through the community-led staking pools that we talk about, Chris. The pool that we have going as well also helps build ultimately that decentralization. The more pools there are, the more nodes there are, and the more decentralized we become. So yeah, absolutely, delegation pools are a very key thing.
That's why we've set one up, Nick, isn't it? We want to be part of this, right? We want to be deep in
that's exactly
the project.
it. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah.
So, most recently, I believe the community helped Cardano achieve another major milestone through Project Catalyst, and one of the most crucial and critical importance to attracting DeFi developer talent and funding new solutions on Cardano. And with over 3,000 people already signed up to vote and a $500,000 in funding, dollars funding available through project Catalyst and Fund 3. Basically, Project Catalyst is one of the largest community-led funding initiatives on any blockchain today, and it's absolutely amazing stuff. And they've done some fantastic things, and I think there's going to be even more fantastic things to come. So by pushing the power to the edges, ultimately the Cardano community, there's already been a huge successfully funded DeFi proposal. One of the first projects, that will launch atop of Cardano, and and basically, I guess our community made it happen, right? There's no other way of really saying that. We did make it happen, and it's fantastic to be a part of. And going forward, I think the community stands to be driving, or a driving force, for development and adoption of the Cardano blockchain, and all of the fantastic solutions that will also come in the future. So I think there's so many fantastic things on the horizon. It's really hard not to get excited about Cardano. So those are what our thoughts are on what we think decentralized finance is going to look like on Cardano. So Chris, let's jump on over and take a look at the chart and see what's going on with the price of ADA in the recent days.
Yeah, sounds good, Nick. Let's do it.
So so as we can see on the chart here, obviously today has had a major pullback, and I don't say major, but it's had a pullback at a significant value. We actually went past one of our resistance support levels here. That was at 31.5, and we actually came right the way down and touched on 30.5 rather than 31.5. So we came here and we bounced right off of it, and it's a good testament to say how strong that was as a support. Something that we tested before on the 21st of January, and we obviously had the test on the 27th today as we record the video. And so if I pull this down into our 4-hourly chart, we can see exactly what happened here in a little bit more detail. I'm going to move this chart up so you can see that clearly. We came down, we hit this level, and we bounced on up. We opened up, we pushed up, we came down, we're still pushing up. Still pretty strong momentum here on the ADA token on the 4-hourly chart. And a couple of things to point out is we got pretty low on our RSI, not oversold, but relatively low on the index there. And the MACD is obviously in that negative position after a negative crossover over here. So if I pull this down onto our hourly chart, it will show us a little bit more of the granular detail of what's been going on. We obviously had that negative cross on the MACD over here. That happened at approximately 2 a.m. on the 27th. And, we didn't cross back over until most recently within that 9 o'clock range, okay, in the PM, okay, so that had that positive cross here. But we were oversold down here, which is where we were when we bounced off of our support line. So being oversold was a clear indicator, along with our support, that we were going to move to the upside. Moving up, we obviously came back down, not oversold at this point, but very, very low, around 31 on the RSI indicator. Anything lower than 30 is oversold, so very, very close to it. And we bounced up from there again. And most recently, we were actually about 42 on the RSI indicator with a positive cross, which means there's plenty of momentum to move to the upside, which I do anticipate happening during the 28th of January. So if I pull this back up to our daily view, we can see a little bit more of what's going on here. I'll just pull that down back into scope. And what we can do is we can have a look and say that we are incredibly close to that price point of 35 cents. Okay, we've already breached it once. We came back down. We need to get back above that. There's lots of consolidation in this zone here, just below the 35 cents, and it has been a major block for us so far. We have got resistance up at 36.7 cents, but I'm still very confident that we're going to get past that. And our next price target is actually 44.7 cents. That's according to our Fibonacci 3.618 level. And I think we're going to get that relatively soon as well. And I can't imagine it's going to take all too much longer now, guys. We've been talking about bull cycle around May. And as we enter February, I think it is going to be a good month. If a bird did tell Charles that it was going to be a good month. And birds are reliable sources, aren't they, Chris?
They are. I had a little birdie tell me some news today, and then, yeah, it was true.
Truth. So there you go. So to do pay attention to what happens, during February, and it could be, all to do with Goguen, smart contracts, Plutus, Marlow, or a host of other fantastic things that Charles has been working on. So let's pay attention to what happens there. But as soon as we take out that 44.7 cent price target, I'm going to reset this chart with a new Fibonacci, new extensions, new price targets, and see what the future holds here for the ADA token. So Chris, I guess at this point, it's good to kind of get out there. What are your thoughts? Where do you line with all of this thinking?
Yeah, I kind of feel Cardano's done really, really well in recent weeks. I think that trend's going to continue. I think obviously, it really is still dependent on what Bitcoin does. It hasn't, I guess, detached itself from the movements of Bitcoin just yet. But when Bitcoin has retraced at points over the last few weeks, it's held strong to an extent, right? So yeah, I think that's a lot to do with the amount of people that are delegating their ADA and taking it off the market. And I think overall, things are really positive. And if that birdie is right, I'm expecting February to be another very, very good month ahead. With all that said, join us, delegate to our pool. I'm not trying to just keep pitching it left, right, and centre, but we're a small pool at the moment. We've only just been set up and live for 5 days now, Nick. So it'd be great to be minting together, and at least with us, you've got the face to the pool, right? You see us on YouTube all the time, so whose pool that is, if that makes sense. And obviously, you perhaps don't with others, but it does help out the channel immensely, doesn't it, Nick?
Not only does it help the channel out, it helps the whole decentralization effort on Cardano as well. So if you're a believer in Cardano, the ecosystem, everything that's trying to be created here, then delegating, if you're not already, is a wise thing to do. And ultimately, we'd love to have you as a part of our delegation pool. Join in the Cheeky Crypto pool, be a part of our team, help us mint blocks together, and be a part of the effort. That would be fantastic. But if you're also delegated elsewhere and you're loyal there, that's also perfectly fine. But as always, guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, you found it informative, maybe a little entertaining, do go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really does appreciate it.
Yeah, I do. I was just gonna say the ticker is cheek.
Cheeky. Right, and as always, if there's anyone new here who's not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all of the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with that said, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.